It's been 75 years since Soviet troops arrived at the Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp to find a horror story. They found piles of bodies, the rubble of gas chambers, and thousands of emaciated prisoners who had survived what we now know as the Holocaust. The victims, most of them Jewish, totalled over 1 million, but over the decades since the war ended, putting names to the dead has proven deeply problematic. The retreating Nazis destroyed not only the infrastructure of Auschwitz, but also the records, and most victims didn't have their names recorded by their murderers. This is where, for most of the war, overcrowded rail cars brought Jews from all over Europe to the camp. Krzysztof Antonczyk is the digital repository chief at the Auschwitz-Birkenau Museum.
The selection was organized just nearby the train. SS organized the selection. All people who were too old or too young were sent to death. 80%, 90% of the new arrivals were sent to the gas chambers immediately after arrival. They had to walk 2 miles in this direction to the Birkenau gas chambers. All those people who are here selected for death were not registered, so that's a problem for us now to collect the names of those people, because they just died without any registration, without any signs, without any traces. So now we are on the biggest graveyard in the world, but there are no graves, only ashes.
For years, historians have been painstakingly piecing together information. These death certificates taken by the Soviets after liberation were retrieved from Russia in 1992, but the museum still only has a fraction of the original camp documentation. The surviving records have enabled researchers to identify over 60% of some 400,000 people processed and imprisoned at the camp. Copies of transport lists are being used to try to identify over 900,000 victims who were never registered at all.
Mówimy tutaj oczywiście o tych transportach, czy to z Terezina, czy to z Mechelen w Belgii, czy z Drancy we Francji, czy z Berlina, z Wiednia, z obozu Westerbork w Niderlandach. Oczywiście to jest punkt wyjścia, bo wiadomo, że na tych listach nie ma informacji, żadnych informacji, co się z tymi ludźmi stało. Wiemy oczywiście, że zostali przywiezieni, ponieważ są na tych listach ich nazwiska wyszczególnione. Ale tu na miejscu już nie odnotowywano, żadnych informacji nie wpisywano o ich dalszym losie. I dlatego ważne jest to, żeby właśnie we współpracy z repozytorium cyfrowym porównać te informacje z tych list z informacjami z innych dokumentów, jakie się zachowały.
Every possible resource is being used, whether it's the names on thousands of suitcases left behind by the dead, survivor stories and family testimonies, or even graffiti left by former prisoners on camp walls. Everything is fed into the Auschwitz-Birkenau digital repository and cross-referenced to try and establish who was here. But there remain large gaps.
We have the so-called train tickets for Greek Jews, 30,000 small cards, which is like a proof of the fact that these people were deported. More than 50,000 Greek Jews were deported. Most of them were killed immediately after arrival. So we have these paper cards, but we don't have most of the names because there are no such a list for the Greek Jews. The same is for Hungarian Jews deported from Hungary. Just several months before liberation of the camp, they still continue this action of the mass deportation. There are 3-4 trains coming one day with thousands of deportees from Hungary. These names are also missing, mostly.
Antonczyk says that identifying all the victims of Auschwitz will never be possible, but the work to add more names will not stop.
So important for us to reconstruct the identities, to find these names of those people who are deported. And it's not only for history, it's not only for the research, but first of all it's for commemoration, for the families, for the future, for all of us. To have these names as a kind of the monument for all of us.